TGIF, people of Earth. Vanessa, what you snacking on a Friday?
A Twizzler
Where'd you get it?
in the break room or out there.
Are there more?
There are more.
It sounds
Are
like
there
she's lying to
donuts?
cover
I
her
want a
tracks.
donut. It's donut day.
It is
found it?
National Donut Day. I thought for sure this was a happening thing.
I know.
How do you know there's not donuts upstairs?
There might be. I want a
might be.
pink frosted one to go with our outfits.
I just caught that fly. Do you want
Wow, did you
Put
really?
it in your coffee.
It's very Karate Kid of you.
I needed a sweet fix since we didn't have donuts this morning. You know, I'm really shocked
Blasphemy.
because every year
Yep.
in the past we've had donuts. Somebody
I was told there would be donuts.
Oh,
for
we-
National
we didn't
Donut
get
Day.
this. We
It's
didn't
like
get
a
free food
given.
today.
You do a morning show, you get donuts on Donut Day, you get tacos on Taco Day. It's just a thing.
I like your style.
So are we boycotting? Are we not doing the show as a result
do
of the
it.
lack
Well,
of
it's
donuts?
over now. It's already happened.
I need to
You
quit
can't
chewing
make
on
up
this
for it.
Twizzler. I don't know if you'd eat it. It's a little
Stale?
Stale?
I kind of think that Twizzlers and Red Vines and gummy bears as well are better when they're kind of old.
I'm with you on the gummy bears, not the Twizzlers and Red Vines,
No.
Same with marshmallows.
Yeah.
When you were little,
marshmallow.
did you ever use the red vines as a straw?
All the
Yes,
time.
with Sprite.
Little.
Yes.
I've done it
Yes.
this calendar
Like
year.
I just did that last
I
weekend while
mean,
gaming.
little, yeah.
Go,
I
Paul.
think that's making fun of me for being a kid at heart.
And that's why you're single.
Yeah, right. That's
Speaking
a great
of which-
segue. Yeah, we're talking about dating. One of our favorite topics on the show. In fact, I ordered a custom graphic for the times we talk about
you?
dating. It's just
No.
not ready yet.
Wait,
Oh, it's
who here
ready
is
yet.
single?
Wait a second. Hold on.
I'm
Both
in
of
out.
y'all.
Look,
Hey,
if you're
listen.
unmarried,
I'm not trying to blow up the
Listen,
spot,
listen.
but
if you're unmarried, you are
Single.
legally single.
Yeah.
Period. End
You
of
know,
story.
is that the definition we're using? now?
Yes, if you don't have to check the box, you're still single.
there's a transition period that you have to go through from
Okay.
when you're no longer single.
Well, you're dating, right? So it's the first step.
Exclusively.
I guess. Yeah, no, dating exclusively is not the first step.
No.
That's
But,
like
you know,
the
there's
Dating,
times
you're
when
just
like
last
seeing
step.
each other. No, seeing each other,
Yeah.
then
So,
dating.
hanging out is probably
See,
the first.
I say seeing for a very long time.
Well, there it
you
is.
say
You get it.
LOVE or what? What's the cutoff?
Well, that's-
Until there's a conversation.
yeah.
About
Until you
exclusive talk.
DT.
Yes.
Okay.
What is it?
That's fair.
DTR? Define the relationship.
There you
I
go.
actually prefer that, you know, you're just spending so much time together that you know that they don't possibly have any time to be seeing anyone else. So then you just know.
Just
I think
monopolize
that
all their
works.
time.
Avoiding adult conversations is key.
What's
for
the
me.
Mitch Hedberg line? It's I don't have a girlfriend, but I do know someone who'd be really mad if she heard me say that. that's kind of where we're at.
Oh, no.
The reason we bring it up is because we want to hear from you this morning. How long does it take to fall in love? There's a new dating app that Vanessa's been raving about. It's called Cove. It's supposed to help you make a connection within a week. So we want to hear from you. Can you fall in love in a week?
Well, these people seem to think so. Joyce said it took me 3 weeks. Marianne said first sight.
Yep.
do you
fell in
really
love at
believe
first
that?
sight.
I think you know, not at first sight, but at first interaction, I think you know.
Yeah.
If you
What
could
you
love
knew
someone.
at first interaction.
Yeah.
And they were set up
We were
on a blind date.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
called my mother from the car. I'm like, this one is different. 5 months later, we were engaged. That's it. We're 15
That is
years
crazy
in
to me.
December.
I need to hang out with
love
you.
that.
I was 29, and you don't need, in my opinion, as an adult, you don't need to date somebody for 2 years to
I
figure out
agree.
if you want to be with it. You don't. I mean, trust me. Take one vacation, have one weekend. You're gonna know. You don't need that much time to figure it out. If you
And
need
I
that much
think
time,
if
it's
you
probably
go
not.
through like one difficult thing together,
There is a fly in here,
how
by the way.
that's
We're
gonna
not
go.
crazy. There's a
Yeah.
fly
yeah, there is a
somewhere.
fly.
and it's the most inopportune time.
Yeah, anyway.
That
Sorry,
was the
Kristen.
same thing with I was on a reality show and it was called Love in the Wild, and it was the same situation. So they put all these couples together, they put them in stressful situations, doing these crazy adventures together, made them stay the night, right? And I was part of this, like them. And then to see how how you meshed together.
Yeah.
And so 2 couples from the show that I was on are actually married and still married to this day, have kids, and it was all from like a 1-month reality show.
I believe that. I mean, I really do think that one interaction, you know if you're going to be able to love that person. Now, how long, though, does it take until you really feel that love, and how long until you say, I love you? Because my sister and my brother-in-law, they knew they both felt love for each other, but they waited 9 months to say it.
Aw.
Which, you know, it kind of makes it really special. It's kind of cute, too, because it wasn't something that either of them were willing to just, like, throw around. Like, they took it really seriously.
Yeah.
So I think there's something special about that as well.
So when we were dating, my husband told me, actually a boyfriend at the time, whatever, he loved me, and I said, thank you.
Oh, that's the word.
You didn't say that.
Because I wasn't ready. Like, like, I knew, but that's a big leap. So he
is.
never will forget that.
I
believe me,
have
million
a
times.
worse one if you want to make yourself
I've got a good
feel
story
better.
too. Go ahead.
One time someone after 5-6 weeks.
Oh, I thought you
I
were
thought you were
going to
say something after.
After 7
relations?
weeks.
7 weeks.
No, it's about to be 6 weeks, and then I think it's more like 5. Okay, focus. After 5 to 6 weeks, said, I want to be with you forever. And I said, I cannot reciprocate
That's a
that.
pill to swallow. Yeah. Wow.
But because I think that if you say at 5 to 6 weeks, I think, and maybe it was just the person too.
You can think it, you can't say
I don't know,
it.
but it felt very superficial to me. Like, how do you know? Like, we hadn't gone on vacation together. We hadn't gone through anything difficult together. So it's like, how do you know that without having experience?
I think it's a fair response. I don't think you should just mirror it because you feel guilty that the person put themselves out there.
Right.
Like, it has to really come from the heart, and you have to mean it. It doesn't have to mean something. So you just have to-
I had a lady friend of mine who was celebrating a birthday, and the guy she was seeing at the time, to use your verbiage, decided that he said, I'm going to tell her I love her. And so he went to her and was like, I love you. And her response was, I love cake. And was just like, just trying to play it off as a joke, like making it a birthday thing. Like, oh, I love cake. Ha! Like, what do I do? Like, that's a tough spot to be put in. Because you don't want to
hard,
say it back if you don't mean it, because then it's over.
It's not fair
you know,
to
like,
them either. It's,
right.
It's
That's
not
what I think.
fair.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think about it. I don't know when the last time I told a guy that I loved him.
Aw.
Like, no, I'm okay with it.
It doesn't sound like it.
But I was just thinking about that because, I had a long-term boyfriend forever for like 10 years, it was way back in the day. And so him, of course, he did. And then after that, I mean, there was a few other guys that I dated for a couple years, but it's been a while.
Cindy said she knew on her first date, and she's been married for 43 years.
Oh, I love that.
Goals.
That is awesome.
Beth said she was friends online for months, but we met face to face and knew right away, and they've been married for 13 years. Mike is celebrating his 17th anniversary. A little bit of everything, first sight, likes, travel, that sort of thing. You got to go through the process.
So this is the thing, though. We talked about this in the past, that these are obviously couples that have been together for years and years and years. So dating back then was a lot easier and different than dating now.
I
I don't know
say
about
that.
easier, but it was different.
It's
It's
just
a
like
nightmare now.
it's it's horrible
I feel
now.
for you guys. I
It's a
do.
cesspool.
I do. It's just, it's too much.
You know what?
much with the
The problem that I have found is that so many people are just not authentic and they're not showing their true selves. And I think a lot of it, and it's beyond just the app and the way you're meeting them. I think there's so much just fake, just lack of people being real on social media. I
But that
think it's the-
superficiality is encouraged by the function of those social media
But
sites. though.
exactly.
You're encouraged
so
to be
like
superficial.
on social media, people could portray anything.
Yeah.
And then like the natural progression when you meet someone on a dating app is like, oh, here's my Instagram. And like it's all fake. And you guys know like my activities are like hiking and road trips and rock climbing. So I'll meet these guys who like say they're into that stuff. And they'll put on that facade, and then when it's time to like go do those things, like they don't actually do them. They had like one picture one time hiking Devil's Bridge in Sedona,
I've heard the opposite. Like, I've had a lot of guy friends that say girls always put like a hiking picture or something, and they don't hike, but they're just doing it because they think the guy will.
So maybe he's trying to call
that's
your bluff, and
exactly
then it
that's
ends up
exactly
being
what
that
I
instance.
find in men. I've had a guy pretend he had a dog who didn't have a dog.
Men go to great lengths for women.
Help.
Yes. That's
So-
extreme.
I want to bring up one
Yeah.
other issue, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna talk about the app, but go ahead first.
Okay, so I have this problem. I'm laying on a couch here for you guys. A younger man that once lived in this body had this problem a lot more frequently than the current soulless human does. I fall in love quickly. Like I find when I am attracted, like legitimately into somebody, I'm all in right away.
I've seen
I have
this.
scared off countless women doing this in my life where it's like 3 days in, they're like, this guy is way too much for me, I'm out. The problem is for me, the flame always burns hot initially, and then you have to find the right person that can sustain that, or find a way to repress it within yourself.
Right.
And then once things even out, you can kind of get into the normal lull of a relationship. But for me, initially, it's so rare to have a real genuine connection with somebody that when I do feel it, it takes everything I have not to go over the top and scare her away. It's like that line from, what was the old Vince Vaughn movie? Swingers, right?
I've never seen that
Oh,
actually.
it's a coming of age dating
Weird.
movie
I saw
for
the
young
title
men.
Swingers,
Yeah?
but didn't watch it.
No, it's like Vince Vaughn's first feature-length film. It's based in Las Vegas, but in it, like, he's trying to give dating advice to one of his other co-stars in the movie, and he's like, she's like a baby fawn. Like, you don't want to scare her. Don't make any sudden movements. Like, she's just this little baby bunny, and you don't want to get her to run, you know? And that's true. Like, you kind of have to slow your roll.
That's
I
true,
think
yeah.
that when you're sharing that with the person who is the right person, nothing you can do is going to scare them away.
That's true.
There's
That's what they do
nothing-
say. Yeah.
If it's meant for you, like there's no way you're going to mess it up because when it's the right person, they're going to reciprocate that at the same time. I think.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
these
get to the
dating
app,
gurus,
Vanessa.
hold on, but these dating gurus, like, pause, you kind of have to tame it down a little bit because they say, like, women, when we start dating a guy on our first date, we'll start planning our wedding and thinking about kids
I
and
don't do that.
how everything, I don't do that either,
No.
but how everything's going to be great and amazing. And so that's what they try to teach women, like, don't do that because guys don't think that far in advance. Like, they're not thinking, like, oh, this is the lady that I'm going to have
I think
marry
once
and
you
walk
reach a
down the
certain
aisle.
age, you start to.
I
Because I
actually-
don't get into stuff now unless I think that might be a possibility. I'm not trying to waste too much time on my 30s.
I try to make
good.
myself seem as terrible as possible up front. So if they stay,
That is one strategy.
yeah. if they stick around, then, you know, it's
So
real.
Vanessa, what makes this app different?
Okay,
Why
so
is this
somebody,
weird?
one of my friends told me about this new app, right? Because there's Hinge, Tinder, Plenty of
Bumble.
Fish, Bumble,
Poppy
all
Meets
these,
Bagel.
yes, all these different apps,
Farmers
No,
right?
there's a
Only.com.
dog dating app too. Not for the dog.
Farmers
For dog
Only.com.
owners to date.
But the one
Okay.
common problem that
What
I've
is going
heard, right, because I am single, a lot of people come to me, and I have a handful of girlfriends that are single, successful, beautiful ladies, and they all have a hard time dating. Now, the one thing that I've heard is that on these apps, everybody falls off, right? Everybody's interested for a
Yeah.
moment.
They're disappearing, the
And then
ghosts.
they ghost you, and
You
then
can
you
order
never.
another one like a pizza.
Yes,
so-
it's because it's so easy to swipe and
Yeah.
move on to the next
Humans
person.
become commodities.
Yes. The second thing
sad.
that I've heard is that people don't look like their pictures.
No, they do not.
No, so they put up this one picture, then you meet them. This has happened to me one time. The guy was older, heavier, and had a little bit less hair. Compared
Those are
to
the three worst things you
we
can be
have
as a
all
guy.
had this
Older,
happen, I
heavier, and
feel.
less
Yeah.
hair.
So
sure.
this new app, my girlfriend told me about it. She goes, it's called The Cove, and I guess you go to Meet the Cove or meetinthecove.com to get more information. But so this one says that it tries to hook you up within 7 days, okay? And it's safe because they all know that dating is dangerous, right? So they don't want you to give out your personal information. So within this app, I guess the first few days you message each other. You're supposed to swipe and connect, right? Then you message each other. Then I think on the third day, they push you to do video messaging within the app.
Okay.
So that way you can meet the person virtually versus going to meet them in
Oh, that's smart.
person.
So you can see if they're older or heavier.
to
or
see
less hair.
Fatter,
what
balder.
they look like, how it works, like if it's true, or if you guys even have a connection, so you don't waste your time going to meet them for coffee and you're there for an hour. And it was
So
like,
you're stuck.
Oh, you know another thing that this roots out, by the way? This roots out the old, oh, my phone broke problem. Because that's one of the go-tos for men and women who try to ghost you. Like,
Catfishing,
oh, my
too.
phone was having, yeah, and catfish too. My phone was having problems. I can't FaceTime you.
gosh.
Not an excuse anymore. I like
Yep.
that.
And then, so I guess after a few days of messaging, then when it gets closer to the 7th date, they want to know if you guys have a connection. If they do, then they'll unlock your information, and that's where you guys can switch phone numbers. And then, this is even the best part too, they give you points towards Uber and Starbucks, so that way you guys can actually
discount.
connect with each other. Isn't
Okay,
that
so there's
great?
an incentive because I'm literally listening to this thinking it's a great concept, but I know exactly why I'm single because that all sounds like way too much work for me.
But these are for people that really want to get into, like, there's
They're ready.
people, that we've
Ready to put in the work.
on here that have been like, we've been single forever. I know my girlfriends that have been single forever, and they're like, we just need a new type of app. So I'm excited about this. I'm actually gonna log on and like try it out.
Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, and I'll give you some information. But they also have an event coming up, which I thought was kind of cool too. They were saying that it's kind of like a singles event, but they're also involving puppies. So you can also earn
there.
credit on
You're
the
going to find a
app.
guy that actually has a dog.
No,
Yeah.
I'll
We're
tell
about
you
to
exactly
adopt
how
one.
this is going to go. I'm going to leave with a
A
dog.
puppy
and no
instead of a man.
You're going to leave with a dog one way or another.
Something to cuddle at night. It's
Thank you.
okay.
Glad you got that. Hey, let's take a quick break from this discussion. We'll get back to your comments in just a second. But first, it's time for our ICYMI. In case you missed it this morning on Today in AZ, Mitch got to play in the mud.
It's really hot out here in Scottsdale, so maybe you want to cool off with some mud? Man, that's good. I'm going to tell you all about the 44th annual Mighty Mud Mania here in Scottsdale when we come back. I'm all dirty.
Oh, man. I don't know what he's up to here, but that equipment is worth way more than the clothes you have on, Mitch. Please don't break anything.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's going for it. He's not going to mess up his hair, though. Watch.
Does he know he's back in the show a little later, or is he's just going for it?
Ooh, yikes.
Keep your head low, Mitch.
I'm going to keep it right there.
But you know what? It's the end of the day, so I think I might just
He's
go
going all in.
full body into this next one. What do you guys
Oh,
think?
be careful, Mitch.
Hold on.
Snitch.
The wife is not going to be happy about having to do the laundry. Oh, geez, heads up,
Oh,
man.
wow. Is he concussed?
I hope not.
Oh, nope, he's good.
You know what? Mitch is doing his own laundry.
I don't even know where the camera is, but
Yeah, it's around. Find that man a power washer. Poor Mitch.
Find one? Does anyone know? Did he find a power
I
washer?
like how you quickly diagnosed his lack of concussion. Is he concussed? Nah, he's moving around. He's all right.
During the break, one of our producers put it on their social media sites that they were hosing him down to clean him off.
As they
Yeah.
should.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
riding nude in a news van on the way back right now, so heads up if you're on the Valley freeways.
Cover the kids' eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I know. Every time I see that, I do always think about the story of the lady who got like a horrible infection in her
Yes!
Oh,
He
from
swallowed
the
some of the mud,
He
too.
was swallowing some of it. I'm like, just
Ugh.
keep everything closed, Mitch, for the love of Pete.
I keep everything
If he gets
Everything.
a brain minivan,
Keep it tight.
work.
It's like kind of hard when I talk
No.
for a living.
Don't open your mouth.
All right,
talk about
you guys
this.
are flooding us with comments about when you were supposed to fall in love. Let's get to a few of them before we just
what do
ignore
they
you
say?
entirely.
Okay.
Nanella says we met at 15, married at 16, and we'll be celebrating our 54th anniversary in October of this year.
I think that's
Nanella,
amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Times are very different. when
But
you met your
that's
husband,
my
though. Yep.
problem now is that like they've been married for 54 years. So how long ago did
Right.
they meet? You know what I mean? Like,
About 54 years ago.
but they were my point.
You guys, Kelly said my husband and me met. He went home and told his parents he met the girl he was going to marry. Went on 4 dates, then got engaged.
Wow.
That's what they say is the
They
first
And
date
how
is
long
the
have they
best.
been
The
married?
They
second
married
date-
3 months later,
Fourth date
27 years ago, before stupid Bumble and
Yeah,
Tinder
before
ruined
these
our
dumb
lives.
dating apps and Instagram and social
Yeah, it's too
media, and
much.
it's just like
It's too much availability, too
Yeah.
much immediacy. It's just, the whole swiping thing. It's too much.
The ghosting thing really blew my mind the first time it happened.
Yeah.
to me. Like I've talked about it on the show before.
Yeah.
I went nuts because I've
Really?
never experienced that before.
Yeah.
Like where you felt like you connected with somebody and then they were just gone.
Yeah,
it was like,
because-
what did I do?
And it's really hard when I would consider myself like a deep person, a sensitive person, and I know you guys pretty well. I know that you guys would, if you're interacting with someone, you would probably be taking it pretty seriously, but so many people don't.
yeah, not
And
anymore.
they're very shallow and they say things they don't mean.
Just
And
to
when
get
you're-
one thing.
When you're not that type of person, yeah, it comes
Is
as
it
a
free
shock.
Starbucks?
Yes, for
Yeah, that's what
It
we're
was the
talking
Uber
about right
discount.
now.
But look, see, this is what I kind of like. So I did download the little app right now, and it says, disclaimer, looking for a hookup app? Here's a link to an article with 32 apps for one night stand. It says, want
Go
something
on.
more? Ready to get swept away, not swiped away.
Okay, that's
Oh.
awesome.
Do it. Vanessa's doing it right now.
I have no problem
This is
with
live,
the
people.
hookup apps existing because they appeal to a certain demographic and a certain age group. But here's the problem. All of those hookup apps became half-baked dating apps.
Yes.
Initially, when Tinder came out, it was used specifically for one purpose. And the people that used it understood the game they were getting themselves into. And then it went mainstream, and millions of people started using it. And those people weren't looking for hookups; they wanted a dating app. Well, that site is not designed to be a functional dating app.
Well-
That's just not the way it's supposed to work. And so basically, the system became broken, and then Bumble to the same extent, and Plenty of Fish is a
Grindr.
free date. Yes, for those of you who want
Yeah,
to go the other way,
Grindr.
that's also an option.
Well, even Hinge. So Hinge was supposed to be like the latest one where people were serious about like meeting someone
Yeah.
and you're supposed to have like whatever. And it's not, because when I was on there, guys were like visiting from out of town, changing their location, right? And then you would match with them and they're like, oh, I'm just here for the weekend. What's going on? And I'm like, I'm not here for a weekend good time. Like,
But
I'm here to try to
apparently
find a
there are
connection.
takers, because I know a
Weekday
lot of
good time
dudes who
gal.
do that.
No, I can't do that because I wake up at 2:45.
Right.
Like, I just arrived in Spain. Let's see who's around
Yeah,
in the
people
next
do that. I gave
available for
up
the next 2 hours.
on the dating apps a while ago. It's just
Yeah.
I had too many bad experiences. I gave up on it. But my brother Sean and my sister Jackie, both married to someone they met on Tinder, but they met them 5-6 years ago.
while
When it was
back,
still,
yeah.
yeah.
And
When it was wholesome.
Yeah. Far from it, I feel like. But it's also weird doing what we do and being on one of those
Yeah,
apps too. And
that's
it's even
true.
weirder when
It
you
is.
see someone else.
It's
You're like, oh,
so-
hey, Kristen, what's up, girl? I'm gonna swipe right and just see what she does.
When you first got here, remember I came across yours and I was like, oh,
That was about the last time I was on
I
one
will
of those apps, about 2
I will
years
have
ago.
viewers screenshot my Bumble profile
Yeah.
back when I was on it. and then Instagram DM it to me.
Yes. And okay, and my thing
And
is
I'm
like, if
like,
we didn't swipe,
I know.
then don't send us a
Just come and
message
find me.
saying like, I want to
On
take
the
you
off
out
chance
on a
that I
date.
swiped the wrong way on you, like, no,
Yeah.
no, there was a reason.
No.
I
Leave
didn't
it there.
swipe Right.
Yeah.
Just leave it there.
It's just really, really.
Are there any more good comments to get to?
Awkward.
You're downloading this app right now.
Look, she is. This is happening live
Meet
in
the
person.
Cove. So it's called The Cove. And I think it's really cool. I don't know if I'm going to really find a connection, but I think it's an easier and safe way at this point because it's a newer one. And they just launched it here in
So?
Phoenix. So I think, it's worth
I'm
a try.
very excited to see how this goes for you.
I love the comment section,
We need
especially when people
follow-ups.
come to our defense. Kane
What?
and Diana understand what the show's about. We're just sharing our own
Yeah,
personal
it's just
experiences.
fun.
If you guys have conflicting experiences about love and dating, feel
Yeah,
free
send
to
it.
share them, and then we'll share them with the whole audience. We're just having a conversation here. No reason to get all upset about it.
We're just, using this couch as a therapy couch.
Yeah.
To talk
Yes,
about how
really.
Valerie met her
depressing
husband in 8th grade.
dating can be.
Married for 5 years with 2 kids
Wow.
now. Congratulations.
Okay, 5 years. Love it.
Diana, high school sweethearts, known each other for 51 years. I love these long-term relationships.
Yeah.
I did a story a couple of years ago here about a couple that was celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's amazing.
Just wild.
See,
to me.
that'll never happen for me. I'm 31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'm not going to make it to 100.
I'm not making it to 100.
Lucky to get to 60 at this rate.
But everyone's marrying later these days.
Yeah, I was thinking
Everyone's
plus
having
side.
kids so much later these days, thanks to modern
Is that you
medicine.
know
So,
that you'll
yeah.
last longer, right? So if you meet later in life,
Okay.
then
Maybe I do have it.
you're
I
set in
mean,
your ways, that
I'm
person's set in
gonna-
their ways, and you guys will be fine.
And
If
I don't
I'm
know, I
going
think
70,
it's
I need to
better.
find them and marry them like right now. like today.
There's something to be said, too, though, about the way you change as an adult through your 20s and
Yeah.
your 30s.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I'm happy that my future wife didn't have to see me in my 20s. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
it's best to
Yeah.
leave that behind.
Well, and do you notice too, this is probably like the biggest difference is like now I genuinely want to take a lot of time getting to know someone.
Yeah.
And I don't just get like infatuated by stupid things like, oh wow, I really find them physically attractive, or like, oh, they have a cool job. That's, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
stupid superficial things that when you're in your early 20s you pay attention to. When you're in your 30s, like all the superficial, nothing phases me. Like
You mean the
I
666 rule?
I don't know the
I say it. Go
6
ahead,
feet
Paul.
tall, 6-pack, and a 6-figure income?
Oh, I never knew that.
I made it up,
heard
actually.
that.
That's
Yeah,
my
but anyway,
thing.
you brought it up, yeah, and I was like,
You know,
oh.
I actually only need the 6-pack. And
I'm going to go drink a 6-pack because we're done with the show. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll see you Monday morning for the Today and AZ After Show at
Hope you
7:30 sharp.
Have a
Find some
connection
love
over
this
the weekend.
weekend.
Check out the app.
Go look for Vanessa.
Meet in the Cove.
There
The
it is.
Cove.
6-pack when you got a keg.
See, 7 days to make it through Cove with your match.
And timer's on.
All right. Everybody loves them. Like, it's such a hit.